Today, I want to look at 3 new things for RVers of technology that I think could have great potential. How's it going? I'm Jared Gillis. Welcome to another All About RVs. I'm always on the lookout for new technology that I think can be good for RVers. I like finding things that I think move the ball forward and make it easier for RVers. So this first one that we have on our list today is a smart converter, and it's an auto detect smart converter. What it's going to auto-detect is the type of battery that you have connected to this converter. So if you have a lead acid battery, it's going to have a multi-stage charging for that. If you have it connected to a lithium, it's going to have a 2-stage charging for that. It's going to auto-detect for you so you don't even have to think about it. Just pick the battery that you would like and this converter will do it. Now, you don't have a ton of control on what it's going to do and plugging in the exact voltages that you would like for your specific battery, but it does a pretty good job. I used this on a lead acid battery and it did just fine. It charged it up properly, and it has the 3 charging profiles for a lead acid battery. And then when it switches over to lithium, it has 2 charging profiles. And I have used it with 2 different lithium batteries. So I used it with the SOK and the AO lithium, and it did great on both of those. Now, one thing I noticed with this converter is it has just a little bit more fan noise sound. So it's not a big deal for us because our converter tucked a little bit deeper into it. And actually, we don't even use our converter anymore because our Multiplus does the function of what the converter does also. So that's included in the Multiplus. But the fan kicks on when the amperage goes up. So it doesn't wait for it to get hot and then try and cool it down. If the amperage is going up, the fan is kicking on. So just something to be mindful of. But no matter which battery you plugged it into, it charged it up just fine. Now, the reason I like this technology and like to see it just come stock that way from the RV manufacturer is because then it just gives you options. So you can choose a lead acid battery if you wanted to, or if you wanted to upgrade and get more advantages with the lithium, you don't have to worry about upgrading your converter too. So if you did have an older converter that was multi-stage and it was just for lead acid and you did a lithium battery, it's just not going to charge it up all the way. It's not going to harm that battery, but this is going to take full advantage of that lithium battery. If you're going to spend that much on a battery, you don't want to just use it at a fraction of what it should be for its potential. So this gives you the ability to just pick the battery that works for your situation, and the converter is going to work. Now, they have a few different models. This one came out of a power distribution system, so the bottom of your breaker panel. So that's why it doesn't have more protection around it. They have the ones that are meant to go in the storage area down below, have a little bit more protection, and not meant to be mounted underneath your breaker panel. So they have them for however your setup is in your RV. Now, the next 2 things I'm really excited about. The first one is the Viking Multiplus. They now have 3 versions of that Multiplus 2. That Multiplus 2 was kind of a game changer and a great thing for 50 amp RVs, being able to set up your inverter and power everything inside of the RV. So now we have the 12 volt version, which came out first. We have the 48 volt version and the 24 volt version. Being able to go to those different voltages allows you to set up your system a little bit different, having less amps go through those wires, smaller gauge wire. It's a great way to be able to set up the system. So having that 24 volt and the 48 volt system is fantastic. Now, if I was starting over fresh and I was planning right now, I would definitely be going with the Multiplus 2 again. I would really be considering that 24 volt version. That would be really easy to implement into this. My only problem is I would have to go to 4 batteries. So right now I have 3 batteries, and that doesn't really work for a 24 volt version. I need either 2 batteries or 4 batteries, and I wouldn't want to go down in capacity. So I would want to go with a 4th battery. I really have nothing but good things to say about this inverter because it's on all the time, 100% usage. We never turn it off. It charges the batteries perfectly because we can enter in those specs. My favorite feature is the power assist. Because of the way that it's set up for a 50 amp RV, it's my favorite inverter for a power assist. So it's just a solid unit. And them adding the 24 and 48 volt versions, the 48's been out for a little while, but having all 3 of those versions, I think is just the inverter I would go with. I'd love to be able to get my hands on these inverters and show the difference between the draw on the 12, the 24, and the 48, and what that means for the battery bank. But it's a great addition if you're setting it up. So if you have questions about how you would want to set up a system like that, put a link down in the description to RV Solar Connection. They're great at being able to walk through, hear what you would like to set up on your RV, and point you in the direction to the equipment that you should be getting. And they have great prices on all this Victron equipment. Now, the last one is a new to market idea from EcoFlow, and it's their new power kit system.
The idea behind it is to be able to have a system that's really simple and easy to set up that pretty much anybody can do it. So the hardest part about this is going to be running the wires, but installing it, actually plugging in the wires, they made it extremely simple. So I don't have all the pieces, so I can't test it out and I can't give you my thoughts of how it's working and how it's operating and all that, but I can give you my first impressions because I have some of the equipment. So right over there behind me is the power hub. It's kind of the center of everything around this power kit. It does multiple things. It has a few inputs of MPPT, so that would be like your solar charge controller or your DC charge controller coming from an alternator, and it has plugs to make that really simple. It has your input for your power in, and it has a port for your power out, and then it has a few plugs for your batteries, so you don't have to worry about wiring all these things up. It comes with these cords that have the ends on it where you just plug it into the battery and plug it into that power hub. Now with this unit, there's a couple of things that really stick out to me as a first impression. Number one, this thing is really small. It's not that heavy and it's really compact. You think about all the equipment that's packed into here, and it has an inverter that's capable of 3,600 watts continuous out. That is a lot for such a small package. The second thing that I noticed is just how simple they're trying to make this. You can pick your options in there. Do you want that sub panel to come with it? Do you want a control panel to come with it? How big of a battery bank do you want? You're not worrying about what type of batteries, which batteries you want to go with, or which manufacturer. When you're buying this, you're buying the batteries that go with it. And then the connections, you're not getting another charge controller to go with it. You're just connecting your solar panels directly into here. We'll see how that all plays out when we install this. So I did a little cost comparison between the system that we have on our RV currently with the Multiplus 2, which gives us a lot of advantages for being able to have it with a 50 amp RV, power everything in it, and be able to still connect to a 30 amp service if we needed to, or be off grid when we wanted to, and have everything powered inside of the RV. So the Multiplus install, when I was adding up all the components, came to a total of $5,500. And that's if we were to add a fourth battery, so I can kind of compare these apples to apples to a degree. So that was around $3,100 for all the components and wires and bus bars and breakers and switches and all that would be involved in that. And then the batteries I priced out as the SOK with the built-in Bluetooth and the heaters inside. So a really nice 4 battery system, 400 amp hour battery system to be able to go along with that. Now compare that to the cost of the EcoFlow Power Kit, which will be around $6,000 for a similarly sized system. So again, that's 400 watts of solar. It's going to be a 4,000 watt battery. And you can see the price comparison between there. They're in the same ballpark at least. But the capabilities between the two of them are going to be different. So one's going to be better suited for a 50 amp RV, and one's going to be suited for using as a sub panel or in a 30 amp RV. So it's going to be great to be able to test that out and to be able to show the comparisons and where each one of them shine. But I love seeing these types of things come to market. So whether it's that converter or it's the Multiplus that you can do the 24 or the 48 volt version, or this EcoFlow system that's going to be really simple and easy to install. I love seeing these things hit the market and make it easier and better for RVers to get out there and enjoy their RV. So I think that's going to do it for today. I'll put links down in the description to everything that we talked about. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos about RVing, hit that subscribe button. And if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will. See you next video.